Hey guys, back breaking down some MCQs. This video is on course 4. It's now commercial real estate to finish it all out. Every exam is different, we know it, but it really seems prevalent on course 4 as there's so many people with such different takes on this course. Polls in our Facebook group do have this course coming in as one of the hardest most often, so it's best to be over prepared. But back at it, course 4, Exam Master MCQ video breakdowns with me. As usual, if you're looking for more support to pass these exams first try, look for my Exam Master mini course in the description below from C1 all the way to Sims 2. More on that later in the video, but let's just dive right into the computer and break down these multiple choice questions. Okay guys, we're just at question 1 here. If you've never seen me do these before, I just read them, we go through them, we discuss why the answer is correct, maybe more importantly, why the other answers aren't correct. You can learn so much from these practice questions by going through the wrong answers and why they're wrong. Okay, so I'll jump right into it. I'll touch on my fundamentals a little bit if you haven't seen me do this before. I always use the cursor just like I'm on the exam, like it's a day of the exam. I move it over to questions, I leave it hovered over possible answers that are correct. I eliminate them in my mind if they're not and move on. So I'll touch on a few fundamentals as well, but let's just basically dive right into it. You'll see along the left-hand side, roughly where it's located in the material and what type of question it is. Okay, let's start. Top left, deep breath. 1, while preparing to lease or sell a unit within a commercial multi-unit building, due diligence must be done by the salesperson. What is true about preparing to lease or sell a unit within a commercial multi-unit building? Okay, and off to A. And if you see these questions, like that's a relatively long-worded question, but these are long-worded answers, right? If you see stuff like this, just don't panic. Use, like, one of my fundamentals is the longer the question, the more information you can gather. It's almost just like a mental mind hack to a certain extent. So you're not intimidated, you're not thrown off when you see these long questions. It's now a positive, right? You're using it to help you gather information. A, it is part of your obligation as a salesperson to determine if the space occupied by the individual tenants is as per the information provided by the previous listings. Okay, right at the end there. So it's sounding good. And at the end, the listing may be wrong information, right? So, or dated information, discussions with the owner, for instance, and obtaining copies of like site plans, building floor plans, even, or like property surveys, stuff like that. Would it be what more you'd be doing your due diligence? Don't refer to previous listings, previous salespeople, anything like that. Never going to be the answer. B, source documents related to a commercial multi-unit building are often attached to a buyer representation agreement or lease agreement. Okay, so source documents, they're not going to be, right? So they're going to be attached to the agreement of purchase and sale or an agreement to lease, of course, in the form of a schedule, right? So buyer representation agreements, listing agreements, lease agreements, these are contracts between the seller, buyer, and brokerage, for instance, right? Source documents are used to gather and provide information, so not there. Move on to C. Financial statements such as income statements, balance sheets, rent rolls, and leases are used so that the parties can have a clear understanding of where the unit is located within the overall structure. Okay, those aren't documents to use to find out where it's located, right? So it's sounding good until the end. Site plan, building floor plans, property survey, stuff like that, right? Condominium declaration would be used to determine such information, right? To find out location. Whereas it's just like it's giving you some good information followed by wrong answer. And this is what these questions are. Multiple choice questions are designed to be close but wrong, if you know what I mean. So always read every answer and question fully. D, and then if you've eliminated your way all the way to D, still read it, right? So basically, what is true about preparing to lease or sell? I'm reading a question back to myself. A unit within a multi-unit building. Financial and operational due diligence can be conducted through analysis of documents, including income statements, balance sheets, rent rolls, and leases and bank statements. Okay, perfect. This is definitely the answer. Other documents such as tax bills, right? Returns, employee records, right? So like stuff like this is like a good question to just learn a bunch of information about this, because now we're in commercial. It's a little bit different. That being said, you're going to see a bunch of stuff. You're still going to see a REBA or TRESA, depending on who watches Code of Ethics, stuff like that. So you're going to see a mixture of a bunch of stuff, but commercial now to close it out. Answer D and move on to top left, deep breath. Market considerations for industrial properties will have a significant impact on both sellers and buyers in the industrial market. All of the below can affect industrial properties' desirability, except which one? Okay, these except questions, if you've been hearing us talk about these now, it's basically a not question is what it is, right? So there's a different way of wording a not question, and we're seeing a few of them. So, and not questions. My fundamentals, if you don't know, is 3 fingers down on the table, representing that there are now 3 correct answers, and you and I are looking for that one incorrect, except which one, right? So same as before, deep breath, utilize fundamentals. So all of the below can affect industrial property desirability, except which one? Interest rates. Okay, this can affect it. Brokerage rates. Okay, interesting. I would leave it hovered over for now, right? Leave it hovered over anything. In this particular case, they could be incorrect, if you know what I mean, because it's except. Then move on. C, government policies. Yes. D, supply and demand, right? What all of the below can affect industrial properties desirability, except which one? Brokerage rates is not so much market considerations. If you know what I mean, brokerage rates can fluctuate, but that's not really the case. The brokerage commission rates would be determined by the broker or salesperson, of course, not so much overall affecting like the market like type thing. This are controlled by us, if you know what I mean. Okay, B, answer and move on, and go through that again. If you're really struggling with not questions and accept questions, of course, Exam Master Mini course is in the description below for C4. I discuss a lot of stuff, good fundamentals if needed. 3, top left, deep breath. Industrial buildings, given the demand for products and services, are typically purpose built. Okay. What best describes a general purpose industrial building? Okay, perfect. And this stuff will come up, of course, on the exam. Simple stuff, but just learn it, right? A, offers features and facilities for a specific use. Okay, so we're looking for a general purpose. Like, it's almost like common sense here, right? So this is a general purpose building, offers features and facilities for a wide range, but that's what we're looking for. We're probably looking for a wide range here. Specific use. Okay, I'd move on. This type of structure is the most rare type of structure. Okay. General purpose, right? Common sense. Usually this type of structure, the most rare type, is actually probably more like a specific use or special purpose, right? So I kind of move on from there. It is not restricted to one particular user, and it has a narrower applicability than most structures. Okay. So although it is not restricted to one particular user, of course, it does not have a narrow applicability, if you know what I mean. That is right. It's more wide range. A general purpose building offers the most wide range of alternative uses, right? So, and again, if you've process limited it down to it, just still read it. Offers features and facilities for a wide range of alternative uses. I just basically said that. Yeah, so this would be your answer, and that's basically what those 3 are, right? So I have a bit of a note here. We'll kind of just go over it first, just so you know, right? So it's going to come up, and it's good stuff to know as well. Structures are divided into 3 categories: general purpose, special purpose, or single purpose, right? With good common sense in the process of elimination, you should be able to navigate to the correct answer on questions as such, right? So utilize the fundamentals, basically, right? You're looking at a single purpose, right? Is like an oil mill type stuff. Just go versus like a wide range general purpose, which is like a factory building type thing, which you can change into multiple things. So just think like that. A question like this is most likely going to come up, not to mention it'll come up now. It'll come up again on Sims 2. What you're learning now can come up on Sims 2 as well, 100%. So best to get it down now. D, answer and move on. Top 4, deep breath. As a salesperson selling an industrial building as an investment property, you will need to examine and understand any existing leases. What is not a factor an investor buyer might take into consideration? Okay, and when you see that not word right away, you can either reread it again, because just don't get thrown off. 3 fingers down. We're now looking for the incorrect answer. There's 3 correct answers, and they should just pop out. These become easier for you eventually. A, if a prospective buyer is considering investing in an industrial property, they will require the price per square foot being paid. Yes, okay. I'm going to say this is something they will. Prospective buyers will require the length of time of the lease terms and renewal options. Yes, I'm going to say this is something that they will take in consideration as well. If a prospective buyer is considering investing in an industrial property, the salesperson will need to share the operating expenses, but is not allowed to show revenue being generated. Interesting. Okay, so leave it over here for now. We're not too sure, right? It's worded nicely. Okay, but D, prospective buyers will require rental rate increases and special rights, if any, associated with a particular tenant. Yes, that sounds like something they would. So, of course, this is what's happened here. If a prospective buyer is considering investing in an industrial property, right, the salesperson will need to share the operating expenses and make sure the verification of the revenue being generated, because basically the property, you'll examine this through like existing leases and stuff like that. Often this is information a buyer would require, and like some stuff when it comes to commercial, and you'll figure this out as well, NDAs will be used quite often as they go deeper into it, right? So non-disclosure agreements can be used when it comes to commercial, because they need this information if they're going to be buying something like this, right? So answer would be C. And again, this is what's not, and this is kind of like a double negative, not just. If you see double negatives, who cares? You now know, you have the fundamentals. You are looking for the one incorrect answer. That's all that means, right? So answer C there, and move on. Okay, guys, go through this again if needed, but we'll see you right into the computer. I really hope that helped, guys, and as mentioned, if you're looking for additional support, look for my Exam Master mini courses in the description below. It's mini notes, mini quizzes, my exact fundamentals I use to pass all exams first try and in 4.5 months. I do video breakdowns similar to this, but more in depth, and I talk on the 4 types of questions you may see on the exams. Those links in the description below are also value links for the YouTube family for the time being. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll link the value link for C4 right here. If you have any questions at all, DM, email, comment on this video. I get back to everyone. My name's Callum, eXp Realty real estate broker here in Ontario, and we'll see you in the next one.